Spend $28 or $78 on a battery for your camera. Let's talk about it. As a real estate photographer of 5 years, I know it's tempting to buy the Amazon branded battery, and as you can see, I did too. For reference, I shoot on Sony, so today we're talking about the Sony NP-FZ100 battery, and we're going to be comparing it to this YX Win Amazon cheap battery. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this Amazon battery. Obvious number one is that this thing is cheaper. It's almost a third of the price of the Sony battery, so obvious win there. But in terms of pros, that's really all it has going for it. This battery only really is cheap for one reason, because they just want you to buy it. Now, most of these cheaply made batteries often cut corners, so they end up dying on you months to years later, and they won't last nearly as long as one of these Sony batteries. Not only that, they could swell as you charge them because they just start to get faulty, or I've heard of some instances where they actually even fail inside of your camera. Now, looking at these Sony batteries definitely are more expensive, but for good reason. That's because they last a lot longer. These Sony batteries are rated to last for years and years, so you really get what you pay for. And I always go by the saying, buy once, cry once. So if you spend the good money on one of these Sony batteries, it's gonna last you much longer, and you're not gonna have to buy multiple ones of these. Personally, after buying a couple of these Amazon batteries, I don't think I'm gonna buy any more again. I'm gonna probably stick to the Sony. Now let's do a quick film test and see how much percentage these batteries have after just 5 minutes of recording.
5 minutes later. 5 minutes later.
So as you guys can see, after a simple 5-minute comparison, the Sony battery held up a lot better than this battery. You can imagine after 30-40 minutes of recording, this thing is not gonna last too long. Overall, I don't think I see myself buying anything but Sony batteries from here on out. What do you think you'll use? Let me know in the comments down below.